Mate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namini Namaste Saraswate Devi Gauravani Pracharini Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschati Deshadharini Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaur Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripasindhabhya eva cha Titanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavibhyo Namo Namah. Hare Krishna, your worshipable devotees, thank you for joining. We are reading the book, The Four Questions by His Grace Vaisesika Prabhu. Question 1 is, yes, Vedi,
what is my purpose?
what is my purpose? Wonderful. And then followed by, how may I be of service? And then we completed the third question, yes, last time on Tuesday. What is the lesson? And now we're going to focus on the last question amongst the four questions. Where am I investing my attention right now? Right now. Important word, critical word, right? Because attention, every moment we're putting our attention somewhere, right? So anyone recalls few things which we read? Where am I putting my attention right now? The glance is like a spiritual beam. Okay, the glance is like a spiritual beam. Regularly asked, where am I putting my attention? Wherever the attention goes, energy flows. Instead of allowing the momentum of bad habits to control our lives, we can choose to reroute, right? We discussed the example of the earlier we start investing, the gains will be better. Similarly, the earlier we start investing our attention in the right things, the gains will be much more. Okay, with that, let's begin today's reading. Okay. Yes, Vedi, you want to start?
Our power is always in the present moment. We can only act in the present, but in our minds, we can speculate about what is going to happen in the future. In our mind's eye, we can see scenarios of what might happen, but we don't actually know what's going to happen. We can only deal with what is happening right now. To be effective, then we must wisely invest our attention in the present moment. We keep asking, where am I investing my attention right now? We realign with the only point at which we have power, the present moment. I like to call this preparation mode. If you don't like the state you're in, go into preparation mode. That means living in the present, which automatically helps create a better future. The word prepare consists of the Latin pre, before, and parere, to make ready. Thus, prepare means to set something in order or readiness for a particular end. For example, to cook, we have to shop, wash the ingredients, chop them up, get water boiling, and lay out the spices. You can only do these steps one at a time, and each one is as important as the other. Similarly, everything we do in life is a process, and every step of the process is important. If we take the steps that are readily available to us right now, we'll stay in the present and feel satisfied that we are accomplishing our task. Preparation mode is a way of using our intelligence in the best way we can to engage the present moment most effectively. By preparing ourselves, we can be assured that the future is going to be better because of what we're doing now. If our minds need reassurance about the future, we can think, I'm preparing for it right now. I'm getting ready. and it'll be better in the future. But all I can do is act in this moment. In short, our power is always in the present moment, the platform upon which we move about this world in an enlightened way. By investing our intention in that which is most important at each moment, we can be confident that we are doing our best to accomplish our task and thus give up the burden of speculating about the future results.
Hare Krishna. Thank you. Any thoughts anyone has? What's the main theme here? Yes, Vidhi.
To start living in the present, because the only thing you can do is your own work, which you can only do in the present. So rather than worrying and speculating about what happened in the past or what could happen in the future, you should just do your work in the present.
Wow. Nectar, huh? Yesterday was mystery. Sorry, yesterday was history. Tomorrow is mystery. But today is a gift. Therefore, it's called present. Present, gift. So you're caught up in the mystery of tomorrow or history of yesterday, oscillating between the mystery and the history and forget to unwrap the gift of present. So, in short, back to circle of influence. We cannot control past, we have little control of future, but we have control of present. Next, Avni.
Hare Krishna. From mindlessness to mindfulness. We often perform activities without being consciously aware of what we're doing. Have you ever met someone and just seconds later forgotten their name? The yoga text tells us that by practice, we can learn to fix our attention. The flood of distractions in the modern age, however, makes fixing our attention difficult. Fortunately, there is a specific kind of meditation that can help develop our power of attention. It is called mantra meditation. In mantra meditation, you intone a mantra, a sacred combination of syllables or sounds that help uplift your mind and increase your power of attention. Repeating and listening to a mantra requires practice, but one simple direction helps. Be aware that you are chanting. Have you ever finished a paragraph when reading a book and then realized that you had no idea what you just read? The same can happen when chanting a mantra. The cure is being vigilant to notice whether or not one is listening, and if not, to bring one's awareness back to the mantra. The word mantra has two parts. Man means mind, and tra means to deliver. While we're reciting the mantra, our mind's tendency will be to drift away to the activities of the day, or a relationship, or an upcoming test, but by the power of the mantra, we can overcome this natural restlessness of the mind and notice that we're not obligated to attend to the myriad thoughts that stream through our minds. What's more, we can be satisfied with the luminous nature of our own consciousness. Mantra meditation can rescue us from the river of bothersome distractions and allow us to taste the happiness of a higher perspective. When we keep asking ourselves where we are investing our attention, we come to see that we are more powerful than we might have thought. A daily practice of mantra meditation can help us not only to build our attention muscle, but also to feel pleasure within. As Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita 6.20 through 23, by this practice, we can achieve the ability to see the self by the pure mind and to relish and rejoice in the self. Hare Krishna.
Oh, thank you. What's the takeaway? Yes, Avni.
Like how mantra meditation is what he mainly talked about in this section, and how this can help us with our attention and how we get better memory and how it helps us develop a connection. from within ourselves and our mind also.
Wonderful. From mindlessness to mindfulness, right? Awareness, right? That's a key word. Whatever we are doing, being aware. Okay, I'm chanting, so I need to focus on chanting. Okay, I'm eating, so I need to focus on eating. Or I'm studying, or whatever we are doing, being aware. I mean, it may sound very silly, but the distractions are so common that we get easily carried out to the lower natures, right? Yes, Lakshay?
The full attention, the secret to quality relationships. How we utilize our attention also affects our relationships. Improving the quality of our relationships can be as simple as giving full attention. Full attention to other persons. In any relationship, our attention is our most valuable asset. How do you feel when you are trying to tell a friend something important and they only half listen because they are busily scrolling on their phone? Not very good, right? Even a tiny diversion of attention can have a big impact. If you look at your watch when you're talking with someone, they will notice and might even take it as a sign that you don't care about what they have to say. Conversely, if we make it a point to give our friends, family, or anyone else our full attention, they'll notice that too. Once, when I was at a conference, I was sitting by myself during a break, collecting my thoughts and enjoying a little peace when a colleague approached me, enthusiastic to share his realizations from the meeting. I was tired and wasn't in the mood to talk, but then I remembered the power of attention and its consequences. So instead of giving him only half my attention, I turned my chair to face him and deliberately gave him my full attention. He was happy and expressed gratitude. And we became friends and remain so to this day, simply because I decided to give him my full attention that one time. The quality of attention we give to people, to all living beings, determines the quality of our relationships with them. And purposefully undivided attention conveys the message, I care. Hare Krishna.
Beautiful. So you see how different questions are teaching us valuable lessons in life, right? The universe is a classroom. We learn about relationships there. Attention, we're learning about the relationship aspects. How many of you agree with this point, right? It's very valid. I'm sure we have experienced good sides, good examples also, and bad examples also, right? We're talking to someone, they're busy in their phone, or we're talking to someone, they're giving full attention. Makes a ton of difference, right? So even if it's for a few moments or a few minutes, it makes a difference. And it applies to any relationship. Husband, wife, brother, sister, mother, daughter, son, friends, any relationship. So attention. Deliberate to be deliberate. Interesting, huh? The word deliberate has two distinct yet interrelated meanings. When we deliberate or carefully consider these four questions, then we are empowered to be deliberate or conscious and intentional in our activities. This is one of the disciplines practiced by sadhus. The word discipline comes from the Latin from learner. The unprepared person asks, why me? The sadhu asks the four questions. Krishna speaks about being deliberate in the Bhagavad Gita 2.41. Those who are on this path are resolute in purpose, and their aim is one. O beloved child of the Kurus, the intelligence of those who are irresolute is many-branched. Their aim is one, ekha. The opposite, avyavasayina, means not to have a purpose. Everyone knows this shloka? Who knows? Who's going to recite? Yes, Avani?
Vyavasayaत्मिका बुद्धिरेकेह गुणनन्दना बहुशाखा ह्यनन्तश्च बुद्धयो व्यवसायिनाम्.
Excellent. Which verse is it from Bhagavad Gita?
2.41.
Wonderful. Not to have a clear idea of where we are going. In this case, our attention becomes Bahu Shaka, multi-branch, unlimited branch. Our purpose then is not fixed because we have no clear idea of where we are going. Once you deliberate on your purpose and develop a clear idea of your goals, you become more deliberate in the things you do to achieve your goals. Who wants to be deliberate? Right? Focus. Deliberate also means focus. We are careful. Where am I putting my energy? What is my purpose? What is of meaning to me? What is, taking away my energy? All this is done through the deliberation or focus. By becoming resolute, another word is resolute. In purpose, you intentionally learn to invest your attention. Intentionally learn to invest your attention. Do we invest our money just like randomly? Any new person says, hey, give me your money, I'll give you 10 times. Will we give our money to them? Right? Won't we intentionally learn, okay, who is that person? What is his background? What is he trying to do? How is he going to, grow the money? Is he using fair means? Is he using wrong means? Right? Won't we learn all that? Right? Or try to acquire knowledge about it? Absolutely. So intentionally learn to invest your attention also, which leads to being more efficient and feeling more fulfilled. Okay. Any thoughts here? Yes. Karina, you want to read further?
Prabhuji, I have very low connections and I can't really see well. I'm joining from my phone, so I won't be able to read.
Okay, no worries. Sheetal Mataji, would you like to read?
Prabhuji, Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranam. Setting our purpose. The wisdom literatures recommend that we set a sankalpa, a purpose or intention before starting anything important. The word sankalpa means to solemnly formulate one's intention, especially verbally or in writing. A sankalpa can also be called an affirmation, a positive self-directed statement that affirms our goal. Sadhus typically verbalize their sankalpas first thing in the morning upon awakening. One such sankalpa is a verse that says, I'm not my body or my mind, I'm a spiritual being, a servant of the Supreme. Another way to align ourselves in purpose before we start any important task is to recite a sacred mantra, a phrase that contains names of the Supreme. If we have an affirmation ready, a sacred mantra or other prayers or specific intentions and get into habit of speaking them aloud to ourselves, we deliberately remind ourselves of our purpose before starting anything. And this sets us off in the directions we want to go. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Mataji. Any takeaways you want to share from here?
So here, Prabhuji is talking about the importance of the intention or setting a purpose, and that is what he's referring to as sankalpa. And I've also noticed, Prabhuji, that generally, even during some puja archanas, they do a sankalpa before starting. So,
Yes,
yeah, so there's like a
absolutely.
purpose, a clear intention. So here, Prabhuji is encouraging that one can formulate a sankalpa verbally or in writing.
Yes. Thank you. And we can do that daily. Like there are some prayers we can chant, or as we get up, we remind ourselves the purpose of our existence. Let's say you are preparing, you're studying physics. You can set a mini sankalpa, right? For next 1 hour, I'm going to study physics, no matter what my mind may say, no matter what anyone else may say, right? For next 30 minutes, I'm going to chant 4 rounds, no matter what may happen. Unless the world is on fire, I'll not move, right? Like I have a DND, do not disturb, to the mind and to others also. The mind will say, hey, you might be hungry. Hey, you can go do this. Hey, you have exam, right? Okay, I'll worry about all those things after 30 minutes, right? When we are doing the sankalpa gives shakti. Sankalpa gives, like the universe, the Supreme Lord helps to fulfill and execute that purpose, right? It's a day of Ekadashi. I'm not going to eat grains no matter what, right? There's a sankalpa. Mm. So, devotees sometimes do like the Kartik Vrata. They begin with the sankalpa. Sankalpa is Krishna, I'm not capable and able to do this on my own, but I need extra help from you. So I'm going to broadly, and sometimes when you're in the marriage also, right? What do? They take vows. Vow is also a sankalpa, right? In an initiation, in all the samskaras, they take vows, right? Why? Why in front of fire, in front of deities, in front of family members, in front of that? Yes, the sankalpa has been broadly declared to the whole world, right? Now I better follow it, right? I better follow it. Otherwise, there will be personal and social defaming. Like one will degrade in one's own eyes and in the eyes of the others also. So, because there will be times one will not feel like keeping that vow, whether it's the initiation vow, whether it's the marriage vow, whether it's, any vow, like duty. How many students feel like studying, right? How many people feel like getting up in the morning? How many people always feel like chanting more and more? Rare, right? How many, if you ask student, you want to play or you want to study? They'll say, I want to play, 99%. But we have a vow, right? We have a vow. I need to pass with good exams. I have good grades. I need to excel in this subject. I need to be a better person. Sankalpa. Return on attention. How many of you are familiar with the word ROI? Return on investment, right? Return on investment, you have heard, right? Like every investment gives some return, 1%, 2%, 10%. Okay, so we are investors. Economic theories calls money dollar words. But what is our most important investment? And where does our vote count the most? The answer is where we invest our attention. We hear about maximizing our ROI, return on investment. But I like the term ROA, return on attention. Just as some monetary investments are more lucrative than others, right? Now, where will some investments of attention yield greater results than others? If you're getting 1% return in some investment and 10% return in another investment, where would you invest? I'm saying that both are equally risky or safe, right? If the other factors are same, then return on investment is 1% for one and 10% for the other. Where will you invest? Avani, tell. If you have $100, where will you put to invest?
In the one that gives it 10%.
10%.
Return.
So after the end of the year, you'll have 100 plus 10, right? 110. That makes sense. And then the other one, you'll have 100 plus 1, 1% of 100. So you'll get only 101. So we'll certainly want to put where we get more returns, right? So when we attack where there is greater goal, same with attention. Now, if we put our attention in movies and stuff, will we get greater returns? Or if we invest our attention in Bhagavad Gita, will we get greater returns? Tell me. Lakshay, what do you think? Where will you get greater returns? We have 1 hour to invest, right? Your attention. You have choice. You can invest in a Pizza Hut. You can invest in movies. You can invest in reading Gita. Where will you get most returns on attention?
Reading the Gita.
Reading Bhagavad Gita, right? Or reading holy scriptures. What will movies give? Some desires, some also filled with breaking of regulative principles, right? So return on attention. When we invest our attention regularly to a worthy cause, over time the results are extraordinary. It may not happen overnight. The law of compounding, right? When we invest our attention only in impermanent things that are here today and gone tomorrow, like our bodies, money, possessions, we get diminishing returns. So, investing our attention in impermanent things like cars and this and that, those will be gone, will be giving diminishing returns, will not grow. But if we make a small daily investment, even if it's small, in ourselves as spiritual beings through spiritual practices, we invest in the permanent, the eternal, the over time, and over time that investment compounds and multiplies exponentially. Isn't that amazing? Exponentially. Albert Einstein called compound interest the eighth wonder of the world. Spiritual practice yields compounding wealth, invaluable qualities like patience, satisfaction, fearlessness, and so on that will never diminish. In the Bhagavad Gita 2.40, who knows this verse? Yes, Avani, good job.
Is it Neha Bikramana Shosti Pratyavayo Navidyate Swapamapi Dharmasya Drayate Mahato Bhayat?
Very nice. Excellent. Krishna says that about the spiritual practice in this endeavor there is no loss or diminution, a little advancement, swalpam apyasya dharmasya, little advancement on this path can protect from the greatest type of fear, most dangerous type of fear. Even little investment, little little attention every day, right? Every drop counts, like an investment, every dollar counts. If someone saves $1 every day, it may seem $1, it may not seem, right? But after 10 years, they may have thousands, correct? Similarly, in bhakti, even if you chant like 2 rounds every day, even if you read for 10 minutes Bhagavad Gita every day, one may feel what nothing is happening, I've been doing this for 10 days, but over a period of time, you'll see big change in your life and others. The flight which starts from New Delhi to New York, if there is just 1 degree change in their trajectory, right? The path. In the beginning, there's 1 degree change, like two planes. Their flight which was supposed to land in New York, it might end up landing in maybe Florida. Are you following? This eventually you'll see bigger differences. In the beginning, the difference could be very, very, small. I had a profound experience in Washington, D.C., when I was introduced to a gentleman who was dying. I almost read it at dancing. Who was dying. He had never been very serious about spiritual life, but when he became terminally ill, and as death approached, he felt an urge to use the remaining days he had to make up for time wasted. He asked me to sit next to him, grabbed my hand, and asked me for guidance. In his last few days, he took my advice and started to practice mantra meditation and to pray. I visited him daily, and from his bed, he told me that he wanted to donate to a local spiritual community. As he was writing a check, however, he turned to me with a pained look and said, all my life, I have been so absorbed in earning money, growing my investments, and keeping the profits all for myself. It's hard at this point for me to give even a small portion of it away. I'm not used to this. I saw the incident as an instructive metaphor for spiritual practice. The eighth chapter of the Bhagavad Gita places great emphasis on our leaving the world in the right state of mind. As Krishna tells Arjuna, the way we invest our energy during our lives, we will determine our consciousness at the end. Which verse is that? From 8th chapter? Yes, Avni?
Is it 8.7 Yam Yam Vapi Smaram Bhavam Tyajtayante Kalevaram Tam Tameveti Kaunteya Sadatat Bhava Bhavita.
Very nice. So basically, it's kind of a 8.7 and 8.6 combined, right? Because 8.7 is, I believe, Tasmat Sarveshu Kaleshu. And 6 is this one, which you said, I think. So whatever state we leave the body, we'll get that. And what state will we leave the body? Whatever we practice throughout, right? So the way we invest energy during our lives will determine our consciousness at the end. A selfless, giving heart is developed by investing one's attention in a metaphysical, beyond these material things. Metaphysical practices, spiritual practices that increase the willpower to overcome the challenges of the material body and mind. But again, no shortcuts exist. To overcome material challenge requires practice. Requires practice. What's the verse? From the mind chapter 6, right? It's very difficult to conquer the mind. I can control the air, but not the mind. And then Krishna responds with this verse. What's the verse? Anyone? Abhyasena tu kaunteya vairagyena cha kriyate. 6.35. Only by developing yoga balena, yoga bal, not like the exercise bal, but spiritual bal, Balaramji. The strength that comes from connecting with the Supreme, can we attain our highest ROA at the end of the life. And as we read in the Bhagavad Gita 8.6, your ROA determines your future. That's a verse which Avani said. How you invest your attention in this life will determine your destination in the next ROA. Moment by moment, daily inputs we are giving. Daily, that's leading to it in corpus. You have heard this word corpus? Corpus is like the amount you're building, right? Let's say if you're putting $10 every day, you're building some corpus. After 10 years, you may have, like, let's say $50,000, right? You're adding something day, plus you're getting return on investment, right? If you're not keeping that in the checking account, you're getting some return on, because checking account, they don't give return on investment. So therefore, it's important to invest in the metaphysical, that is spiritual practices, chanting, reading Bhagavad Gita, good Sangha, good holy name, etc. Then we are going to have a big corpus. What is that big corpus? In this case now, what is the big corpus now here? Back to God, right? Krishna Prem, the biggest thing. Prema Pumartho Naha. Are you following, or is it too fast, too slow? Are you getting this example? Return on investment versus return on attention. It's the biggest thing we will attain. We'll not have to suffer again in this birth death cycle, and we'll be free from all dualities, fearless, anger free. We'll be happy always. Isn't that big corpus, to always be happy, not be angry? You'll have the most refined spiritual qualities through the practice of daily spiritual practice. Any thoughts, comments, questions? Please tell something. I don't want to, I would like some engagement. Anyone wants to share anything which struck you so far? Avni, Uday, please tell.
The first section that we read about power in the present, that was what is the word? Yeah, one of the points that I liked, because it can also help you be more mindful when you're like focusing on the present.
Awareness, good. Yes, Avni, what's?
I really like the point about like how when you put just a little bit of attention into these things like the Bhagavad Gita and any different spiritual scriptures, then over time it'll exponentially increase and it'll be very big at the end, and it will help you achieve the highest point in life.
Right. The return on ROA, attention. Good. Anyone else has any comments?
Prabhuji, there was a beautiful point about relationships, where relationships flourish when there is full attention, quality relationships.
So true. I really need to work on that. I need to stop multitasking, and especially we're talking to someone, right? Have this area of improvement for sure. Thank you for reminding that, Mataji. So let's read one last topic and then we'll pause for today. Anyone would like to read? Okay, go ahead, Avni.
Direct your attention wisely. As the old saying goes, if you chase two rabbits, you won't catch either one. Our power lies in our ability to focus our attention in the right place. When we do this, we get the highest return from life. This is an essential teaching of bhakti. With so many distractions and options, we must be alert to direct our attention to what really matters. Krishna explains to Arjuna that whatever we immerse ourselves in becomes part of us. While contemplating dhyato, the objects of the senses, Vishayan, a person develops attachment for them, Sangha. Bhagavad Gita 2.62. This is how we become intimately connected to the world. We feel that a house, a car, a family, a pet, or even our own bodies are a part of us. Dhyato means to dwell on or contemplate, and Vishayan refers to all the things that vie for our attention. If I dwell on a sense object with the desire to own, control, and enjoy it, then by the power of my consciousness and by the way I've directed my attention, I develop a sangha or attachment. The word sangha comes from the Sanskrit root sanj, which means to stick together. I might look at a bicycle and think, I just have to have that bike. I'd look great riding around on it. Of course, I'd have to lock it up so no one could steal it. All these thoughts race through my mind, and by this process of dhyana or contemplation, I identify myself with the bike. I developed a sangha with it. I don't have to officially own an object to become attached to it and for it to become a part of my life. Many people become attached to sports teams. They watch a team and let it absorb their consciousness. I'm a fan of such and such. When their team wins, they're ecstatic. When it loses, they're morose. They have made a sangha with the team. It has become a part of who they are, and their happiness is tied to its success. But when we attach ourselves to a team or concept or an ideology or to any material object, wanting to enjoy or to control it by making it ours, we pay the price, just as one pays rent on a dwelling. On one side, people who invest their attention in the aimless scrolling of random social media posts, breaking news, or pornography soon find their minds attached to those sounds and images. The penalty is acute anxiety, depression, mental discord, a poor ROA to say the least. They pay interest and fees on their greed and unhealthy cravings for temporary objects. And when those cravings aren't fulfilled, they become angry. From such attachment, Krishna tells Arjuna, lust develops, and from lust, frustration and anger arise, which leads to bewilderment of memory. On the other side, those who invest their attention wisely, regulating their senses in spiritual practice, reap the dividends of yajna, sacrifice, wisdom, and a peaceful mind and heart. Chanting sacred mantras and hearing from the ancient wisdom texts both give healthy returns on attention. What you direct your attention to is vital. Where attention goes, energy flows.
Very nice. Any thoughts? Any comments?
In this one, he's again emphasizing about like wherever you put your attention to, like whether it's places on like social media or stuff, that's what you're going to be thinking about. It's going to be in your like consciousness or like subconsciousness, and you're always thinking about that. And like that's how he pulled the example of the bike, how he didn't even have the bike yet he was already like attached to it, and it was already like a part of himself. And like it's the same things with people who are so obsessed with like sports, and like they have that one team that they like, and like whenever that team wins, they're like very happy because they identify themselves with that team instead of like identifying themselves as
You
not
have
the body.
you have a favorite team?
No.
Good, you're a sadhu. You know where to invest your attention. I'm not joking. This India lost World Cup or something, or some country lost. There were the most number of televisions broken that day. It came a news. Like everyone, whatever they had in their hand, like bang, and the TV they were watching, and guess what? The TV broke, right? Why? I mean, TV didn't do anything. TV is just a messenger of the news or whatever happened. What poor TV had to do with this? But poor investment of their attention, leading to what? Fear, insecurity, anger, revenge, feeling whatever country lost, whatever team lost, as if they lost, right? So we have to invest our attention very, very wisely. Where attention goes, energy flows. Okay, so we have read, I think we are on a perfect track to complete the book in next 2 sessions, right? We have about 22 pages or so left, and we'll complete it in the next 2 sessions, okay? Any closing comments for today? So we'll pause here. Thank you for joining. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha Sindhubhya eva cha Pitanam pavanebhyo Vishnavaya namo. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna. Shri Prabhupada.
Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna.